If you're getting ready for your first backpacking trip, there are a few things that might catch you off guard. Not necessarily big scary things, but little things that make you think like, did I do something wrong? Did I mess this up? Is my gear broken? Am I bad at this? And the good news is, a lot of those things are completely normal. So in this video, I want to go over 10 things that you should expect on your first backpacking trip. Not to scare you away from it, but to help you get into it with more realistic expectations. Because backpacking is amazing, but your first trip might not be perfect. You might be tired, you might be uncomfortable, you might wonder to yourself, why did I carry everything on my back into the woods? Was that a good idea? But if you know what to expect, those moments can be a lot easier to deal with. If you're new here, hi everyone, I'm Justin and welcome to the channel, Let's Hit the Trail. Here we talk about all things hiking and backpacking, especially backpacking. So if that's your kind of thing, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I have spent hundreds of nights backpacking and I have hiked thousands of miles, including the PCT. And this is the kind of stuff I think every beginner should know before their first trip. So let's get into it. Number one, the first thing that might freak you out is your sleeping pad feeling like it lost air. You get to camp, you blow up your sleeping pad, it's nice and firm, and then several hours later, when you're actually ready for bed, all of a sudden it feels soft and you're thinking, crap, is my brand new sleeping pad already leaking? But that doesn't mean anything is wrong or that your pad is leaking. A lot of the time, it's just temperature change. You probably inflated your pad when it was warmer out, so the air inside of your sleeping pad is warmer. But as the temperature outside drops, the air inside of your pad also cools down. And cooler air takes up less space and creates less pressure than warm air. So your sleeping pad feels softer, like it lost air, but it didn't, just the air inside shrunk. So before you assume that your pad is leaking, just top it off with a few breaths right before you go to bed. Even overnight, it might get a little bit softer again for that same reason, but to a lesser extent because now you have your body heat on top of the pad. Now, if you wake up completely on the ground, then yep, you probably have a leak and you got a problem. But if it just feels softer after the temperature dropped, that's pretty normal. The second thing to expect is you might not sleep very well on your first night. Hell, even now for me, my first night on a multi-night trip tends to be my worst night of sleep, and it just kind of gets better after that. But especially when you're first starting out. I think a lot of people assume that because they hiked all day and they're super exhausted, that they're just gonna crawl into their sleeping bag or their quilt and get an amazing night of sleep. But your first night out in the wilderness might just feel a little bit weird. You're sleeping in a new place, your sleeping pad doesn't feel like your bed at home, your inflatable pillow doesn't feel like your soft plush pillow at home, and every little sound outside sounds like some giant creature. Most of the time, it's probably just a mouse, deer, some bird rustling in the trees, maybe some wind. But when you're lying there in the dark, your brain can turn every little sound into something big and scary. This doesn't mean that backpacking isn't for you, it's just your body and your brain adjusting to sleeping outside. A few things can help. If you're a really light sleeper, maybe bring some earplugs. Try to pick a really flat campsite. Don't sleep with your head downhill. Don't do that. And if you don't sleep well on your first night, don't judge the entire experience off of that one night. Bad sleep is a very normal part of a first backpacking trip. Number three, condensation does not mean that your tent is leaking. This is another one that can really worry beginners. You might wake up, touch the inside of your tent, and it's damp. You might see some water droplets on your rainfly, and you think that your tent has failed. But a lot of the time, that moisture is just condensation. You're breathing inside your tent all night, releasing warm moisture. And when the temperature drops and that warm moisture hits the cool fabric of your tent, it can turn into water droplets. This is even more noticeable when there are multiple people inside of the tent. And it's really common when you're camping by water, if you have really still air, if it's humid outside, or if you just have bad ventilation. The main thing is just don't panic. A little condensation is normal. It doesn't mean you have a bad shelter. If conditions allow, Sleep with the door or both doors of your tent open. This allows better airflow through the tent. Try not to sleep at the lowest spot possible. Try not to camp immediately by water. And if you do have some condensation, just try to avoid pressing your sleeping bag or your quilt up against it. Sometimes you just have to wipe things down or let your tent dry out in the sun. It's kind of annoying, but it's pretty normal. Number 4, you might be colder at camp than expected. This is a big one because beginners might be thinking about the temperature while they're hiking. And if they do check the forecast ahead of time, they might say like, oh, 40 degrees? I walk around in that all the time around my neighborhood. But when you're just sitting around outside at camp, it's different, especially with no external heat source. Especially if you live anywhere out west like I do, you're probably not having a campfire. When you're hiking, you're generating heat. You're carrying your backpack, you might be hiking uphill, and you might feel totally fine in just a sun hoodie or a t-shirt, even if it is cool outside. But once you stop moving, especially if your clothes are a little bit sweaty, you're gonna cool down fast. Even a summer evening in the mountains can feel a lot colder when you're just sitting around making dinner than when you were hiking in the sun earlier. And again, you probably don't have an external heat source to warm you up. So don't wait until you're freezing to put on your warm layers. If you get to camp and it's warm outside, it's not really a big deal. But if it's cool when you get to camp, it's a good idea to take off your sweaty hiking clothes, probably put your base layers on, and maybe throw a fleece or a puffy on. Warm, dry socks can also make a huge difference. And again, putting on some nice base layers before you go to bed feels great. Being warm at camp is one of those little things that can really change how much you enjoy your trip. Number 5, you'll probably bring too much stuff. And honestly, that's okay. Almost everyone brings too much stuff on their first backpacking trip. You don't know what you'll actually use yet. You don't know what comfort items are actually worth it. You don't know which just-in-case items will actually be useful or what will just sit indefinitely in your backpack. You might bring too many clothes, you might bring too much food, too many toiletries, a giant Rambo knife that you're never gonna use. Maybe you brought a full book, a little hammock that you never set up. A lot of people on their first backpacking trip are gonna return with a few items that they never used. But that doesn't mean you failed. Your first backpacking trip isn't just a trip, it's kind of also an experiment. You're learning what you'll actually use, what you actually need, and what will actually make you more comfortable. So after the trip, take a few minutes to go through your gear, kind of look at it and think, did I use this? Did I never touch this? Was this worth the wait? And is there anything that you wish you had? Though, the quick caveat is safety items like a first aid kit or a Garmin GPS, even if you didn't use those, you should always bring those. You don't need to have everything perfectly dialed in before your first trip. You just need to get out there and start learning. Number 6, the miles will probably feel harder than you expected. 5 miles with a fully loaded backpack is not the same as walking 5 miles around your neighborhood or even a 5-mile day hike. When you're carrying weight, everything feels a little bit different. The climbs are tougher, the descents are harder on your knees, your balance feels a little bit different. Roots, rocks, heat, elevation, carrying extra water can all add up and make a difference. So for your first trip, I really wouldn't plan it like you're trying to prove something. You don't need your first backpacking trip to be like a 15-mile sufferfest out into the wilderness. I'd actually recommend keeping it shorter to give yourself a little bit of leeway in case anything goes wrong. You want to have some time to set up your camp with some daylight, some extra time to cook, to filter water, and just a little extra time so you don't feel rushed. The goal of your first trip shouldn't be to build the most epic itinerary possible. It should be to have a good enough experience that it makes you want to go backpacking again. Number 7, your backpack might feel a little bit awkward at first. Even if you have a good pack and it fits you really well, carrying all that extra weight in a fully loaded backpack might just feel a little bit strange at first. The first few miles can feel especially clunky. Your balance is going to feel a little bit different with that extra weight on you. Your shoulders and your hips might be a little bit uncomfortable. Your pack might feel a little bit too heavy. You might feel like you packed it wrong, and maybe you did, but that's just part of the learning experience. But that does not mean you need to suffer all day because your pack feels a little bit weird when you're first getting started. Stop and make some adjustments. Try tightening or loosening your hip belt. Try tightening or loosening your shoulder straps. Maybe play with the load lifters, assuming that your pack has them. Make sure that the weight is actually sitting on your hips and not just dangling from your shoulders. And if something is poking you in the back, don't ignore it. Stop and maybe try to repack a little bit so that your pack is more comfortable. A lot of pack discomfort can be improved with small changes, maybe not completely fixed in all cases, but at least improved. And if you can, try to go on a walk or a little hike with your fully loaded backpack before your actual trip. Even just walking around the neighborhood can help you discover problems before you're several miles away from the trailhead. Number 8, small discomforts can become big problems if you ignore them. And this might be one of the most important lessons in backpacking. A tiny hot spot on your heel can turn into a blister. A small little rock in your shoe can become a major irritation. If your shoulder strap is rubbing into your neck, it can make it raw. And beginners often don't want to stop, and I get it. If you're with a group, you might not want to hold up the group, or you might just think to yourself, it's not that bad, I'll just deal with it later. But later is when it gets worse. So get in the habit of fixing small problems early. If you feel a hot spot, stop and tape it up. If you feel something in your shoe, stop and get it out of your shoe. If you're feeling hungry, eat something. If you're feeling thirsty, drink something. If your pack feels a little uncomfortable, make some adjustments. Backpacking gets a lot easier if you solve those small problems before they turn into big ones. Number 9, your food preferences might change on trail. This is something that sounds obvious after you've backpacked a few times, but it might surprise you at first. Food that sounds good at home might not sound as good when you're hot, tired, dehydrated, or at elevation. You might think that you're going to want a bunch of bars because they're easy, they're calorie dense, easy to just toss into your food bag, but by day 2, the thought of another bar might just make you sad. Or maybe peanut butter sounds perfect at home and it looks great on paper because it's high fat, high carbs, good protein, high calories. But when you're out on the trail and it's hot and you're dehydrated, some thick, goopy peanut butter just might not hit it. Ask me how I know. I have made plenty of food choices based off how it looks on paper and then regretted those decisions on the trail. So don't build your food bag around what looks good on a spreadsheet. Actually pack food that you're going to want to eat when you're out there in the middle of the wilderness. Bring some variety, and for your first trip, don't try a bunch of new foods that you're not sure you're going to like. Your food doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be good enough that you actually want to eat it when you're tired. And here we are, already at number 10. And number 10 is just realize you're probably gonna have a few tough moments, and that is okay. This is probably the most important expectation of all. Your first backpacking trip might be amazing, but it probably won't be comfortable the entire time. You might be tired, you might be cold, you might sleep badly, you might get annoyed by bugs, your pack might feel heavy, you might be hungry, and you might end up sitting in your tent thinking, why did I do this? And honestly, that's part of it. It doesn't mean that the trip is going badly. It does not mean that you're not cut out for backpacking. It just means that the reality of it is different than watching somebody's highlight reel on social media. There are hard moments, there are tough moments, and there are moments when you question all the decisions that you've made. But then something funny happens. You get back to the trailhead, you get a real meal, you take a shower, and you go back through all your photos, and all of a sudden, the hard parts from your trip didn't ruin it. They just become part of the story. You remember your amazing campsite, you remember how good dinner tasted after hiking all day, you remember hearing the sound of the wind through the trees, you remember the stars that you saw when the sun went down, and then you remember that you just carried everything that you needed on your back and you made it work. And before too long, you start thinking about where you're going to go next. So if your first backpacking trip has a few rough moments, that's okay, that's normal, just learn as you go. And if you do that, there's a good chance that even if things weren't perfect, you're gonna end up thinking to yourself, all right, I wanna do that again. So those are 10 things that you can expect on your first backpacking trip. And none of them mean that you're doing anything wrong. It's all just part of learning how to backpack. If you're planning your first trip, keep it simple. Plan a reasonable route, bring food you're actually going to like, fix small problems early, and just don't expect things to be absolutely perfect. The goal is to just get out there, learn a few things, hopefully have a few wow moments, and then come back excited for the next one. All right, that is going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you out on the trail. Cheers.